Local music critics have called her an uncompromising young lion, a jazz guitarist whose recordings are marked with a, quote, vitality and directness that is simply not found in most commercial works. She is Monnette Sudler, Philadelphia's version of the late Wes Montgomery, and its first lady of guitar.
I love music, and that's all I can say. I just love music, period.
She has spent the last 15 years of her life living in Germantown, but playing the music she loves so passionately throughout Europe, Japan, and across the U.S. Her albums, recorded in the late 70s on Steeplechase Records in Denmark, feature her own compositions, which range from what critics call Brazilian grooves to impressionistic atonal collages. But it is only recently that the folks here at home have started paying close attention to what the rest of the world has enjoyed for quite some time.
It had been, say, word-of-mouth type situation up until the past, say, 3 or 4 years, because I've gotten quite a bit of publicity from, the Philadelphia papers and the Cool Jazz Festival.
By her own admission, she is a jazz purist and one of the few women jazz guitarists. She has played or recorded with the likes of Grammy winner Wynton Marsalis, Freddie Hubbard, Archie Shepp, Odine Pope, and Hugh Masekela. Her music is described as vividly descriptive and catchy, but for all those accolades, Monnette Sudler remains relatively unknown outside of jazz circles. The reasons are many and complex, but they almost always boil down to just one key factor: the lack of radio airplay.
And the thing about this business, and especially the type of music that I'm dealing with, is that it is not the most popular music, in the sense that you won't hear it on 99 or DAS or any of the pop radio stations.
There are very few radio stations that play jazz, and most of the music industry is oriented towards pop and rock, which is to say that if you're a jazz purist and you're playing something other than highly commercial music, you won't get heard.
It is obvious to me as a musician that I see many, many people that love jazz music. They love my music. They love other people's music, other jazz artists, So I'm saying that there is a mass public that enjoys jazz music, but they really don't get a chance to listen to it, because it's not pumped at them. They're there, and they do listen, and they make an extra special effort to listen, because it's not so readily available to them through the media.
There is, however, a catch-22 about all of this. Highly commercial music pays very well. So well that artists who consider themselves purists occasionally consider joining the rest of the crowd to create less sophisticated music for a mass audience.
Oh, definitely. I don't think there's a musician out there that question hasn't crossed their mind, at one point or another.
But those who reject that idea sometimes come to think of the word commercial as an extremely dirty concept.
Not to me. Commercial just means that more people get to hear your music and you'll make more money. So I don't consider that a dirty word. And I feel as though as long as you do your best in any idiom that you choose, as long as you do your best and you put out a good product that is respectable musically and that satisfies you musically, satisfies the public musically, then there's no crime in it.
When will my heart ever learn? Do you recall when our love would never fall? Ain't it a shame? Trouble line, tried to beat my time, and I just don't know what to think.
These days, Sudler is shopping around for another recording contract. Her first with Steeplechase Records ended 2 years ago. It was her first foray into the world of big business without big bucks. She likes to think of it as a learning experience.
And So I was happy to get it, you know. And now, you know, I'm a little more settled in my ways and I have a keener eye, say.
Having attended the School of Hard Knocks, she has now learned the value of a good lawyer. It also taught her how to ask a lot of questions before she signs a recording contract.
You just have to make sure that you have a good lawyer that will not just say to you, oh, this is a standard contract, don't worry about it. You know, this is standard. You know. Make sure, this is to anyone that is thinking of signing a contract, make sure that the lawyer explains every detail, you know. What is standard? Why is it standard?
Monnette Sudler is just being careful while searching for the perfect record company, one that'll distribute her records not just to jazz stores. Once she has that right company, all she'll have to do is sit back and let her music do the rest. She wants to be a musical success as soon as possible. Unfortunately, it's a lot more complicated than you can imagine.
Well, I would if it just depended on me, but it doesn't.